All right, everybody, welcome back. We're going to be looking at some more quarterback prospects in this video, and we're going to continue to look at some guys that the Seahawks are just not going to be able to draft. It's not going to happen. At least I can't make a realistic case for it, right? Like, I could sit here and talk about the maze you'd have to maneuver for it to happen, but I feel like I'd be wasting my time because I don't believe the Seahawks team is trading up, and I don't believe that these quarterbacks are going to be falling out of the top 10 because, regardless of how good I think the quarterbacks are, teams at the top of the draft need quarterbacks badly. All right, so first guy is going to be Drake Maye of North Carolina, 22 years old when the season starts. More of a prototype than Caleb, probably. 6'4", 223 pounds, 32 and a quarter inch arms, 9 and an eighth inch hands. Every big board that I see that I use has him in the top 10. The mock draft database has him number 2 overall. I'm pretty confident he's going to at least go top 5. I can't imagine him not, regardless of whether or not he deserves it. Again, it's just that's what the teams up there need. A lot of quarterback need at the top of this draft. And if he does slip a little bit to a team like the Giants, I'm sure the Giants are going to jump on him. If he does slip a little bit to another one of the quarterback needy teams in the top 10, like, I don't think the Raiders are in the top 10, but if he slipped to the Raiders, I'm sure they would take him. Point is, I don't think he's getting to Seattle. Didn't do stuff at the Combine. Numbers over the last 2 years are good, although it should be noted they were much better in 2022. 2022, completed two-thirds of his passes, 4,300 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 picks, 700 rushing yards. Last year, yards went way down. Completion percentage dropped. Touchdowns down, interceptions up. So he didn't have that punch it in, drag it out, kick ass second year, or last year in college, excuse me, but it was still good. And the talent that makes him interesting is still there. I don't think he played badly enough to cost himself massive draft stock. Drake Maye was a team captain at North Carolina. He was a team leader for sure there. He has the look of a top flight quarterback. He's got the size. He's got the body build of it. He looks like a guy who's going to be a prototype. He looks like a Josh Allen or John Elway type, even more so than Caleb. He has the look. The ball jumps out of his hand with velocity. He's got a good arm, gets a lot of RPMs on the ball, gets a lot of muscle on the ball. He's good at using his legs. I mean, he ran for a little less than 1,200 yards over the last 2 seasons. He can buy time with his legs. He can extend the play with his legs, or he can just go run for yards. So he offers versatility in that area. When he's scrambling around in the backfield, he keeps his eyes up and he's always looking to throw the ball and try to make the right play. So that's something, you don't want a quarterback who just drops his eyes as soon as the pressure gets there. And overall, I think he handles pressure well. I think he's somebody who stands in the pocket and zips the ball in there even when he's getting hit, even when he's getting belted as the ball comes out. He's not afraid of trying a high degree of difficulty throw. He'll fit the ball into a small window if he needs to. He'll throw off platform if that's what the play dictates. So, a lot of fun tools here. There's a lot of stuff here that stands out, and it makes sense that he is viewed as a elite QB prospect in this class. Now, I think that his struggles as a player seem to start pre-snap. I think that when defenses throw more exotic pressure at him, he really struggles to direct his offensive line to pick it up. He struggles to see the blitz coming. He struggles to understand what he's looking at. And that's something that would definitely be concerning at the NFL level, where you see even more of that stuff sometimes. He does have a little bit of a gunslinger mentality, and like Caleb, although I think it's to an even further degree with Drake Maye, he makes mistakes because he's just trying to sling it in there and trying to make a big play and just trying to fit it into a place he probably shouldn't. And there's stuff about that that is great, but it is going to cause turnovers. And he had a little bit more of a turnover problem than Caleb did in college for a reason. Sometimes his accuracy on the simple throws is just off. Like, it'll be a slant pass right in front of him, and he just hits the back hip. He doesn't lead the receiver enough. Intermediate throws end up in the dirt sometimes. There were some games last year where he had like a sub 50 completion percentage. It was just off. He doesn't layer his passes the way you'd like to. Everything tends to be kind of a fastball. You'd like to see him be able to take something off for the certain throws, like be able to put some arc on it in certain situations, do a touch pass. You're not really seeing that much with him right now. It seems like he's just got one speed, and that's going to create issues at the NFL level. That's going to lead to drop passes, and That's something that I think he will have to figure out. He's also kind of got a long windup, which always just looks awkward on tape. And you know it causes issues. I think we all understand that when you have a long windup on your throw, it's going to cause problems with being able to get the ball out on time, and it's going to cause issues with you being able to beat the rush. Just a little bit of an awkward windup, I think. So this one's a tough one. He's got a lot of stuff in his toolbox here. Clearly worthy of a top 10 selection, I think, based on his traits. It's just, I could definitely see it going the way of a JP Lossman. I could definitely see it going the way of a EJ Manuel. I could definitely just see it never working out, even on a basic level, because of the pre-snap struggles and because he's a little too much of a risk taker. So I think he's worthy of a top 10 pick, but I am a little bit uncomfortable with it. Of course, it doesn't really matter what I think because my team is not even picking that high anyway, so, I'm just speaking hypothetically. Last guy we're going to take a look at that is completely out of range for the Seahawks, Jayden Daniels. I'm very confident that Jayden Daniels is going to go higher than the Seahawks are able to pick, although I got to admit, I'm not sure he should, but I think he will at this point. If he falls out of the top 5, I think that would be an upset. LSU, 23 years old, was an Arizona State quarterback at first, 6'4", 210 pounds. Every big board has him in the top 10 now, except for PFF. They have him at 22. I think they're a little bit behind the curve here, although I don't completely disagree with their take. The database has him third. So if he gets out of the top 5, that would be a big upset. And obviously 2023 was an incredible year for him. 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 3,800 passing yards, 1,100 rushing yards, 50 total touchdowns, 72 completion percentage. The dude just basically ate football games and crapped out incredible statistical performances like a machine. And the previous year for LSU, he also wasn't bad, but it wasn't like it was in 2023. 3,000 passing yards almost 900 rushing yards, 70 touchdowns, 3 picks. Still good, but 2023 was a different beast. And I didn't know he had that gear in him. Obviously, LSU's incredible receiver core helps, but I mean, that's impressive no matter how you slice it. So the things I like about Jayden Daniels are he's really good pre-snap, seems to have a good understanding of where the pressure is coming from and how to direct his teammates. He's a field general. And you can't say that about every quarterback. He's a true field general. He sees the whole field. He sees the whole play, knows how to direct his guys to be in the right place at the right time. He's got great footwork within the pocket. His legs are not just for running for yards. It's also for shifting around a little bit to buy himself a little bit of time. It's also for him being able to escape pressure, escape the pocket, and make a throw outside the pocket. He goes through his progression smoothly. He is somebody who can actually dissect a defense a little bit. He is somebody who can actually make reads based on what the defense is doing and make the right decision based off of it. He's capable of taking off for a 50-yard run. There are quarterbacks out there who can run, but they can't run like Jayden. Like Jayden Daniels, I don't know if he's Lamar Jackson, but he's capable of making some Lamar Jackson type plays. Throws with anticipation at an elite level, understands how to lead his receivers into open area, understands how to throw his receivers open. He's great at that stuff. He keeps his eyes up when he's scrambling, and all the collegiate experience, because remember, he was a starter at ASU for several years as well, is significant. He offers a lot as a starter. The issues I have with Jayden Daniels, my concerns would be I don't think his arm is that great. I think that LSU's offense was able to construct around his limitations arm-wise, and he's not bringing the best arm into the NFL. It's not bad or anything, but I think that there are going to be some throws he just never is able to make. He's not going to push the ball down the field very well, I don't think. He's not going to throw a great deep ball. He's not going to be able to do some of the things that you see Caleb or Drake May do when they have the ball. He doesn't even really have like a Michael Penix arm. So I'm concerned about that. When he's off platform, he does lose his accuracy significantly. Like, he'll do it. He can keep the play alive. He can scramble out of the pocket, keeps his eyes up. But when it comes to delivering an accurate throw, it's just not really there. And my biggest problem with Jayden Daniels is I saw a stat on X from a trusted source that said that Jayden Daniels threw less than 9% of his passes last year to the middle of the field. And in the modern NFL, I don't think that's a good idea. I think you want to use the middle of the field as much as you can. I think that's where the league is trending. I think that's where the league is guiding us. I think you want to use the middle of the field. So when I see Jayden Daniels do the same stuff that Russell Wilson always did, where he was also not a big user of the middle of the field, then I go like, is this where the league is really headed? So I don't like that. That's something that is very concerning to me. Doesn't use the middle of the field. It's something that I'm hoping that the Seahawks kind of catch up to the rest of the league on this year. So having a quarterback here who doesn't do it just kind of by his nature is not great. And while he isn't small, he is slender of frame. He's 210 pounds. Might lead to an injury-laden NFL career. Could just get crumpled sometimes, and there's not a ton he can do about it. So I like a lot of things about Jayden Daniels. I do. There's a lot of stuff here that is great. He's smart. The way he goes through things. He's cerebral. His mobility. His anticipation. There's a lot of great stuff here, but that whole thing about the middle of the field does put me off. Maybe a little bit more than it should, but I just look at that and I go, that is not the direction I want to be going with the league going the way that it is. It's all about the middle of the field now. So I personally, even though I know he's going to go in the top 10, I don't think he should. I think he should be a middle first guy. I think the hype from the Heisman and the insane stats has gotten a little out of control here personally. I feel like he's a middle first player. And if he was there for the Seahawks at 16, I would take him there. But getting him in the top 5, not really feeling that. All right, next quarterback video, we'll take a look at some guys we could actually realistically get. See you guys later. Go Hawks.